Hey YouTubers, what's up? 3am is back with another gameplay. And today guys, we are going to try something new. A tutorial video.
Boring!
Oh no, wait. Sandali lang. This is actually going to be fun guys. Not only we get to have a gameplay, but also learn the basic stuff on building a PC, hardware, components, and a whole lot more. Even the market prices.
What the fuck?!
This tutorial is also applicable in real life, so if you're planning to build a PC, stay tuned after this intro. Alright! Okay, so the first thing we gotta do is get a PC case, and here we have the black and red theme NZXT S340. It is an ATX size PC case. So I recommend you guys to buy an ATX size PC case because not only it can hold almost all kinds of motherboard, it also has a wide space for cable management and better cooling properties. Okay, next we need to install the power supply, and here we chose the Power King 600 watts. So I think this is a rated power supply since it's modular, and it is more than enough to power all the components of our basic build. So we gotta remove this screw from the power supply holder and slide the power supply in. Now we need to remove the back panel so we can properly install the next hardware, which is the motherboard. When choosing the motherboard, you also need to choose which processor you are going to use, either Intel or AMD. In this build, we are going to use the Intel. So to know if the motherboard supports Intel processor, we need to Google its socket. Now here we have a Skylake microarchitecture, and this Skylake supports 6th and 7th generation of Intel processor. So first we need to install the standoff. So these guys separate the motherboard and the metallic plate of our PC case. Place the motherboard and screw it in. But before you place the motherboard, you need to make sure that the I/O shield is placed at the back of the PC case. In this game, it is automatically inserted. Next, we need to open the retention plate so we can insert our processor. So the processor we're going to be using is the Intel Core i3 6100. It is a Skylake 6th gen processor. The processor has actually a golden triangle on the edge, and line that up with the dot on the corner of the CPU socket on the motherboard. Now we are going to put a little bit of thermal compound on the processor so that it would stick on the CPU cooler that we are going to install. So we can either install the cooler with the fan blowing upward, making use of our exhaust at the top of our case, or install it with the fans blowing towards the back of our system where the I/O is, making use of the rear fan. It is recommended that we buy 2 sticks of memory with the same latency so it can give us a dual channel operation for better performance than a single stick. So the second RAM should be put on the same channel as the first RAM. So if you have 2 slot of memory in your motherboard, then there will be no problems at all. But if you have 4 slot of memory, then usually the RAM is put one space apart from each other, and that unlock its dual channel capabilities. Now we need to put an SSD and a typical hard disk. So the difference between them is that SSDs are a lot faster than a normal hard disk. So it is recommended that you install your operating system on the SSD, and the games, files and videos and other heavy files should be put on the normal hard disk. Now, since our CPU cooler is blowing at the back of our PC case, then we need to install a fan on the rear side of our case. So finally, we need to install the graphics card. So in real life, this is optional, but in this game, we need to install it. This card actually processes videos and images, so if you're into gaming and video rendering, so this card will help a lot. It will boost your performance and quality of gaming. So the card is installed in the top PCI Express slot. Now we need to install an intake fan to increase airflow. So this fan will prevent our computer to overheat and also prevent dust buildup. Okay, so the only thing left to do is connect the cable. So I'm going to show you guys. So the rear fan is connected to the motherboard there, and the CPU cooler is also connected to the motherboard, and the CPU power is connected to the power supply. The 24-pin power from of the motherboard is connected also to the power supply. The graphics card is on the power supply, and the hard disk power is also to the power supply. The fan power is connected to the motherboard. The SATA cord is connected to the motherboard. Then the power SSD is connected to the power supply, and the SATA also cord is to the motherboard, and finally the case cord is connected to the motherboard. Okay, so all that's left is to assemble again all the missing part that we have removed from the PC case, and voila! So let's test our PC if it's working.
It's alive!
If you are going to install the Windows operating system, so better make sure it is on the SSD for better performance. So guys, if you enjoy and learn something about the video, please, I would appreciate it if you like and subscribe my channel. And also, comment if you have questions, and I would be glad to answer it. So that's all, folks. See you at the next video. Cheers, guys.